Hi there, my name is Abigail Morrison, and this is my Module 1, Communicating Who You Are for Building Finance. Just a little bit about myself. Let me introduce everyone. I'm originally from Albert, Kansas. I currently reside in Hoisington, Kansas. Both my husband and I come from farming families, and so our little boy gets to continue in that. My husband's name is Shane, and my son's name is Cal. He is 3. And if you have a little boy, you understand the obsession with Monster Jam, Paw Patrol, and tractors and trucks. So that is exactly where we are at right now. My family does, of course, love the hunting, camping, hiking activities, anything outdoors. I do come from a family of educators, which is kind of neat. My older sister is the assistant director for Derby School District in Derby, Kansas, and then my little sister is a kindergarten teacher in Manhattan. And all 3 of us, we joke about how all 3 of us wanted to be principals at the same time. So kind of a neat little fun fact. And then my education-wise, I did graduate from Fort Hays State. I played softball for the university many, many years ago, but still roll Tigers. And I currently teach kindergarten here at Jefferson Elementary in Great Bend. I've been doing that for 6 years. I have coached high school volleyball and high school softball for 6 years, and I'm currently still coaching volleyball, and I'm on my 2nd year. So gotta love the coaching experiences. So moving forward, when we go into what our module is about, where we don't think about the funding that comes to school districts. So I guess I never really thought about it as a teacher that much, and maybe that's wrong, but where does that money come from? So 48% of the school's budget comes from state resources, and that's basically income tax and sales tax, and then 44% is contributed locally. That's your property taxes from the residents, and then 8% is federal resources. So that's like your grants for your programs for students' needs. We used to have the LIFE program. That was a federal program for parental support with families. And then districts and schools may refuse federal funding if they do not wish to participate in a certain program. Some of the federal programs that are covered are the Title I. That is the school district I am in. We are a Title I district, so that's your more low income families. And then the IDA for special education, that covers the students with disabilities, and then Improving Teacher Quality Act, or just your teacher trainings. So then spending the money, the funding does vary state to state. School finance formulas determine how money is allocated to districts and for its specific purposes. So that determines how much a school gets and where it's allotted to. Most money is spent by a district school board and school personnel. So that's the school board that is appointed or voted in. They determine, does this money need to go here? Does this money need to go there? They approve and deny that. And then the administrator's role. As an administrator, we prepare a school's budget and then the projected revenue. We do have the fundraising responsibilities. I know in my elementary school, we also use PTO. PTO helps give some ideas where some of that funding could go for the fundraising, where those funds could be used. And then, of course, record keeping and then teaching salaries are in line with the Department of Education. Understanding the ins and outs of your building. That's a big one. Understanding your limitations and your flexibility at the school. Right now, we are working with playground equipment. Never knew how expensive playground equipment was, and so we're working on the budget for what we can put in for the kids. And then regularly approve and revise school budgets. Reading and understanding of financial statements and documents. Some of these documents, such as an income statement, a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, and then really educate yourselves with technology platforms to help with the accounting process. That's a big one. So looking at my principal, things that I have witnessed, and I did talk to him a little bit. So of course the fundraising, I've been to PTO meetings and witnessed that myself. The cash flow, I've seen that, but that is the secretary and the principal in my school. The secretary does a lot with cash flow just because it's up at her desk most of the time. And then teacher budgets, of course, at the end of the year, each teacher in my building gets $300 to spend how they see fit for their classroom. He is in charge of making sure, that's the same amount we can use. And then, of course, the cash flow financial report, that goes along with the secretary. And then not witnessed, I haven't seen him planning the budget, but I'm not saying he doesn't do that. I just think that that's something that's not advertised to the teachers. And then technology uses again, I know that our school uses Skyward, but I don't know what they use for. I don't know what they use for their actual accounting purposes. So that would be interesting. And then checking teaching salaries and then financial reports, of course. I did speak to him and he talked about how he does a gift balance, and that is gifts to teachers and things like that. I believe that goes with the PTO budget. So I thought that was interesting. My concerns that I have about myself personally is that I really don't have any experience with accounting. I've tried to avoid those classes. Just not saying I can't do money, but just not what I thought of when I thought of a kindergarten teacher back in the day. I've never had to budget for a school size account. I've never taken classes with accounting, and then I've never really had to read financial reports other than my good old bank account. So it'll be new information for me. And then what should I approve or deny? That's another one. And then like knowing what financial spending to approve. Is it money well spent? Is it not money well spent? How can we utilize this? Those questions that you need to ask before you approve anything. And then just the overall pressure of handling money for a building with little accounting knowledge. I've talked to my principal and he said you learn as you go. And so that's a good way of putting it with anything with admin. I feel like you're learning as you're working towards it. So, but here are my references, and